Real talk, raw truth, raging hearts. Welcome to From the Minds of Raging Brats. Like, share, and subscribe.
Hi, welcome to From the Minds of Raging Brats. I'm Heather.
And I'm Ashley.
How's your week, hun?
Like every week lately, it's all over the fucking place. I've been really, really mad. I have been really, really sad. I've been very, very happy. And I have been frustrated beyond compare.
I
How's your
definitely
week
feel
been?
that. I also have been, but mine's like a daily roller coaster emotions. Like I was just telling another friend, I was like, I might have wake up with a super happy day and then a couple hours into my day, be hit with some severe depression for an hour where I just want to die, severe depression. And then all of a sudden I'm just fucking irritated at the world and I want to fight somebody. And then I'm fucking horny and, life goes on and
Yep.
all the things.
Yeah, I do definitely understand.
Yeah. But, this week has been full of blessings. Last weekend I turned 47. So there's that. But this week, we wanted to get into the conversation we started having a couple weeks ago about different relationships and how different people you connect differently, different dynamics. So I wanted to go ahead and come back around to that and get into that conversation today. But not just romantic relationships. I know that's predominantly what we talk about, but friendships, family relationships, all of it.
Yeah.
So I wanted to talk about this because I noticed something really interesting about myself. And honestly, about people in general, but specifically I was noticing in my own life how different people bring out different sides of us. And I don't mean we put on a mask or a fake personality, just it's around you, I'm one person because you bring out certain aspects of me and because I'm comfortable around you. But around my kid, I'm somebody different. Not because that's not who I am. It's just that's a different aspect of who I am that comes out with them. And so, I really wanted to kind of get into that because dynamics and relationships tend to be really interactive. And, I don't think people really put enough credit in that these days. I know it kind of falls under the instant gratification, how everybody's all about that, but still, there's something to be said for building a relationship and having some delayed gratification there.
Yeah.
So, I mean, basically, what it boils down to is who we are doesn't exist in a vacuum. And when we treat ourselves like that, not only are we setting ourselves up for some hardships, but also we cut off the opportunity of all different kinds of relationships because we're oh, we can't be this different side of ourselves. Yes, you can.
Just because you didn't know about it or you didn't accept that part of yourself does not mean it wasn't there.
Yeah, the way we show up with one person might be totally different than the way we show up with another person, and that doesn't make us any less authentic with one or the other. It just means different dynamics pull different parts of our personality to the surface. And the thing that really got me thinking about this was a couple situations that happened recently. One of them was my most recent ex. We'll just call him B. And the relationship had ended, and then he came back, said he'd like to try again and take it slower get to know me better, be more intentional. And then he went on a trip and came back. And in the days following, I got one line saying I'm back. And when I was like, yeah, I figured, but I didn't get any pictures. So, because he was supposed to send me pictures while he was gone.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, I haven't transferred to my other phone. That was literally the last thing I ever heard from him. And I was just like, dude, I am not here for these games. Like, and I can see when he's viewed some of my social medias still. So it's a little annoying, honestly. Because like if you're not gonna put in the effort and you're gonna be fake as fuck, why even come around me? Like I will cut you off short as fuck. And I made that very clear when I ended the relationship at 5 days in. Like, did you think I was somebody that could be toyed with?
Mhm.
But you know, and it's not that I'm not open to a real relationship long term, because I am. But I'm also not here to waste my or your time. If we're not compatible, we're not compatible. Let's not pretend like we are.
Yeah, that's just gonna end up with somebody hurt or what unless you're like me, and then it ends up with somebody mad. Like vengeful fucking angry because you wasted my time. Mm.
That's where I go these days. Like I swear to God, when I talk to people online, I'm like, oh, you're in my area and you like to meet, and them they're like, yeah. I'm like, okay, when do you want to meet?
Yeah.
And I may reschedule it 5 times because my anxiety, but like if you don't want to meet pretty darn quick, I'm assuming that you're not here to really interact with me. You only want an online thing or something like that, and I'm not here for that.
Yeah.
I'm like, nope, sorry, I got to go. And people get
Mhm.
so frustrated with me, but I'm just like, no, listen, I'm not here for long distance. Because been there, done that, and it doesn't work really well. It's not that I need somebody in my back pocket, but like I need to see you sometimes.
Yeah. If I didn't need to see you, I could do an online relationship. But
Yeah.
that's not how my brain works.
I also get really tired of sleeping by myself.
Yeah.
Like, and I mean sleeping. Like that is the biggest thing for me because my insomnia, if I don't have somebody next to me that I feel safe with, not sleeping.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. Mm-hmm.
It's been a lifelong problem.
See, and I'm the opposite. Like, as much as I wouldn't mind a relationship, one of the things I love most about being single is nobody being in my fucking bed. Because, well, you know, there's times when I will, like, army scooch myself to the different corners of my fucking bed and, like, touch everything. Like, I throw my cat off the bed, the poor thing. If I happen to touch her when I'm sleeping, I'm like, nope, that doesn't belong here.
And then she always tries to convince me to come sleep in her bed when I'm there. I'm like, no, couch. She's like, come on, no, couch.
She's like, it'll be great.
I want to be comfortable.
Yeah.
That or you're damn hot. I'm like, I already have hot flashes, bitch.
Which
I
is
don't need your
crazy.
sugar ass.
Which is weird because when we first became friends, everybody is like, Bones is a fucking ice box. She pushes cold. And I did. It's why all the people that were too warm loved it. But then I got healthy mentally and I started pushing heat like a motherfucker. Like, I get too hot for me now. I'm like, this is horrible. Make it stop.
I used to love it, and then I started getting hot flashes, and I remember one night I was half hanging off the air mattress, like, you're too close.
It burns.
You're like, what's wrong? I'm like, you're too hot. You were just like, you're the bitch that's always freezing. Absolutely, I am. And tonight, I'm pouring sweat. Get away from me. Oh, I am a bit temperamental, though. At least I can admit it. But the point is, I just went and like sent a message. I'm not here for those games. I removed him off everything. Like, see ya, bye. Wouldn't want to be ya. Because why are we gonna sit and do that? It's just not. But the funny thing was, when I sat and thought about it, the situation was so much like another one of my exes.
Yeah.
The other firefighter. And I was just like, oh.
With you.
I'm like, how are these patterns so similar? And I know they were both firefighters, but like, I just find it hilarious at this point because apparently that's a type that shows up in my life.
It very much is.
But the reason it made me think about him is because both of them actually did something, like I said, very similar. Both of them dated me in this weird way. Like, I don't know, like with the other one, it was like we were dating, but we weren't. It was like, it was almost like a friends with benefits situation, but weird. But calling each other boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever.
Yeah.
So that was kind of weird for me. Like, seriously weird. And then this one, like, okay, we're dating. We're not basically leaving your bedroom. But we're not having sex either, so.
Yeah, that's the weird part.
I'm still just over here like, what is that?
I don't know.
But then both of them later came back and was like, I want to try again. Like, you're it. I want you. And then I'm like, okay, fine. I'm not like putting any effort forward until you show me, but like the door's open. Give it your best shot. And then neither one of them did shit, but end up getting removed and told that ain't working. That ain't working. Don't work for me. The other one actually came back and asked me, like, are you sure that's what you want? Sir, what do you think I'm missing out on?
You
Your
not putting in any
silence?
effort?
Your
not putting
silence?
it out there? Yeah.
Yeah. Your lack of presence? Which one?
I can get that all on my own without having to stress out.
Dude, my favorite part of that whole thing is when I was like, really? Like, really? You really think that's an appropriate question? And he was just like, yeah, like, are you sure you want to be done with this? And I'm like, dude, you haven't even like called me since you like wanted to restart this. And he's like, because I'm not in the state.
Okay.
Pretty sure you're texting me from your phone, and even though you're in a different state, so what does that mean?
It's an excuse.
Oh no, I know, but I didn't say what does that mean. I literally said, "Sir, I need my partner to communicate with me, even if they're in motherfucking Antarctica."
Yeah.
And he was like, "I can't do that." And I was like, "Yeah, that's kind of what I figured. Have a nice life. I hope you find what you're looking for, but I'm not it."
That's why I said what I said.
Well, and now knowing, like I said, having taken that other test and knowing the whole property aspect of it, I was like, that's why most of these guys ain't work, because they don't know how to own a woman, and that does not mean control.
No.
Own is different. Own is different, and I don't mean slavery terms. I mean, yeah, be owned.
Yes.
I don't want to describe that here because that will get us in trouble with YouTube.
Yes, it will. Yes, it will. Mhm. We are doing our best to stay on YouTube's good side lately.
Yeah. And on the surface, those relationships, they sounded great, but in reality, with no effort, it was like, okay, no change. Actually, this is worse than before, so I'm gonna exit stage left, okay?
Make it easier on us all.
I mean, I'm sorry that I personally am the one to bounce out because I was the one that said I'm the stayer, but I stay when there's something to stay for.
See, and I do warn anybody that gets in even friendships with me, whether it's because this is about dynamics, whether it's friendships, family, an actual partner. I tell people in the very beginning, I'm like, I stay and I'm the most loyal person in the world all the way up until the very second I'm not. And I don't always tell you you're getting close to that second. Sometimes I just fucking leave and am never to be heard from again. I know for a fact you have certain family members that's what they say about me. She just, one day she didn't tell us she was mad. She didn't tell us she was getting over it. She just stopped ever speaking to us again. And that is for my protection and theirs. Because when I get to that point, I don't want to yell at you. I don't want to say anything. I just want to leave.
Yeah, I understand that. Here's the interesting thing about the fact that those relationships were similar, though. My emotional connection to them was not the same.
Yeah, well, that makes sense.
With, we'll say K. With K, I fell in love with that man. And I honestly, to this day, don't know how. To this day, I'm still racking my brain because I didn't know enough about him. I'm like, how, bitch? How? You of all people, that's how the fuck you gonna fall in love with somebody you don't know shit about? And you're just you know more about your mailman, bitch. What? What do you mean? What do you mean you in love with this man? And I don't still to this day don't know how the fuck that happened, but it did. It did. And I felt hard. And I fucking mourned that worse than a fucking family death. It was terrible.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's
yeah. But unfortunately, we don't get the choice of who our brain clings onto. We get the choice of how we recover from it. We get the choice of what we do in the midst of it, but we don't get the choice of who our brain's like, that one.
Yeah, well, I didn't like it. my heart
do.
just went. My heart just went. You know what? Your brain doesn't get a say here. We vetoed it. Get out, because this is what's happening. And I'm just like, but I don't like it. I don't like it at all.
Mm-hmm.
And I broke up with him not telling him I was in love with him. And then as soon as I broke up with him, I told him. And he was just like, I know. And that made me mad. And I was just like, okay, so you know the relationship was going nowhere, because when I sent it to him, he's like, I'm just not in a place for what you're looking for. And I'm like, okay, so you knew what was happening and you knew where it was going and you didn't have the capacity for it and you didn't fucking say a word. What kind of man are you?
Yeah, that's some bullshit.
Made me mad. So that's even more why I had zero tolerance when he came back around and was like, no, I'm in love with you and want this to work out. And I'm like, oh, see. And as much as I still fucking have feelings for you, that's not fucking enough for me these days. Bitch, I may be loyal to people I love, but that doesn't mean I'll stay. I could love you forever and still walk away knowing that was wrong for me.
Yeah, that is definitely part of growth, though. When I was younger, if I loved you, that was enough. I'd make it be enough, whether it actually was or not. Now, I got people that I love endlessly, but I will not fuck with them anymore. They will not come into my life. They will not disturb my peace. They will not be a part of my life anymore. Love is not enough to keep you anywhere near me.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And then B was totally different because with him, there was attraction. Yeah. But my spirit wouldn't rest. Like, I couldn't sleep through the night. I would wake anytime he was next to me for 5 days. Like, I was awake every few hours. Like, my body would not rest. It would take me forever to get to sleep. I fucking hated it. Like, I hurt so much during those days because I was hypervigilant.
Yeah.
I was full on hypervigilant during those 5 days, and that was no fun. And then when I confronted him about talking about what was going to happen between us, he took off. Like, and then didn't come back to have the conversation when he said he was. So I was just like, yeah, no, this is irritating as hell, and I'm not here for childish games. Like, either you're a grown-ass man and you can have a grown-ass conversation even if it's uncomfortable, or you're not, and I'm not here to participate in that because I'm a grown-ass woman that has way too much on her plate to be taking care of a grown-ass man-child.
Yeah. Yeah, but that is one of your main things in all dynamics is you need open and honest communication, and it needs to be consistent.
Yeah. And well, you know this. When I'm in a relationship, like, I need the people in the relationship with me really putting in that effort, like, to be working on themselves and be accountable, because if you're not and I see it, I'm going to point it out. And if you get mad, then that right there is, for me, is a deal breaker, because I'm like, if you aren't accountable, I'm out.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sorry, but accountability is something that I had to go without for a lot of years from a lot of people, especially my blood relations. And hard motherfucking pass.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm an adult. It's like you said, I'm grown. I'm not gonna fucking deal with that shit. It feels like going back to middle school.
Yeah. And what's crazy is that I feel like that is like the norm these days. Like, because these guys sometimes look at me like I'm all crazy because I expect standards. And I'm just like, are we really that fucked off as a world that that's not the bare minimum seems like a gold star to you, sir?
Yeah. Yes, we are. Yes, we are as a fucking society.
And my therapist says my standard of exceptional is actually the literal bare minimum. So if my bare minimum fuck you, bro.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Just get the fuck out of here, because listen, I apparently am accepting below bare minimum as bare minimum, and you still can't rise to the occasion. Get the fuck to stepping. I'm sorry. That just cracks me up, because, like, what? And that contrast is actually what made me start thinking about today's topic, because the same general behaviors, somebody leaving, somebody coming back, somebody saying they want to try again but not really putting in effort, can trigger completely different emotional responses depending on the relationship. And I think that's something we don't talk about enough. We tend to think that being authentic means we should feel or act the same way in every situation, but that's not how humans actually work. Different relationships activate different parts of us. Some people bring out our patience. Some people bring out our humor. Some people bring out our boundaries. A lot of people bring out my boundaries these days. Some people bring out our vulnerability. A lot of people these days, they don't even let that reach the table. So just knowing that in and of itself is hard, because as somebody that does make myself vulnerable in my relationships, like, that makes it hurt a lot when the other person doesn't give a fuck, and they are not.
Yeah, I would definitely agree with that one.
And sometimes the same pattern of behavior from two different people can affect us in completely different ways. And that doesn't mean we're inconsistent. It just means we're human. So in today's episode, I want to talk about that. About relationship dynamics, about how different people bring out different versions of us, about why you can feel confident and still have social anxiety in certain situations, about why you can love someone deeply and still know they're not right for your life. And about why sometimes the healthiest thing you can do in a relationship, whether it's romantic, friendship, or family, is simply recognize the dynamic and walk away. Bro, and that's the hardest part, because when you are in a dynamic, like at that point, you obviously care about somebody. We didn't have the kind of long drawn out relationship where you would expect something like that would grow over time, the love between me and Kay.
Yeah.
But like I said, my heart straight up skipped the logic and just went right into feelings. Probably because he was my first relationship in like 9 years.
Yeah, that was probably a big part of it.
Yeah, and my attachment anxiety style was still very anxious attachment at that point, with a side of disorganized, because I would like push away in the beginning. Like in the beginning, he was very much pursuing me, and I would like not answer him for like 5 days. Forget he even messaged me. Like, so it was kind of weird that I ended up falling for him. But by
Yeah.
the same token, like it makes me, because of that relationship, it made me do some real soul searching of what I was looking for, what I'm willing to accept, and what I'm not. And that's why everything ends so much faster with me now. Because it's like, yes, I am in it wholeheartedly. But if I see that your actions don't match what you're saying, I'm going to say something. And then if it continues, I'm gonna peace out, because obviously you don't care about changing.
Yep. Definitely agree with that.
And, you know, there's so much that goes into falling in love with somebody that people often think that it's just about like all the pieces of somebody and how good they match yours. But sometimes it is literally like lightning. You're just like, one minute they're just a person, and the next minute they are like your person. And when that happens, especially for people like me, that it just like a light switch, it's like, please don't do that to me again. It's gonna make life hell again, because these people are not built like me. They don't carry around an ocean as their companion when it comes to their emotions. They might be lucky if they're skipping in a mud pond.
I definitely agree with that.
And that doesn't mean that they're like stupid, or that I'm stupid, or that either one of us is naive or ignorant. It just, sometimes emotions get ahead of you. And it's like dating somebody's potential. Like, I can see the potential in people, and man, I used to date people's potential. I would see everything they could ever be and all the greatness in them, and then I was stuck with the reality that was them.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's often a harsh reality when you choose to do that.
And I was like, wait a minute. Wait, this is not what I signed up for. What happened to this? Oh, well, that's my part-time weekend personality. Oh, I don't have one of those. I have chaos or nothing. Like, it is what you are getting, whatever you get. If it's the anxious ball of nerves, that's what you get today. If it's the chaos ball of glee, that's what you get today. If it's the angry fucking rageful bitch, congratulations, your day's about to suck. I'm not trying to be mean. I'm just being honest. But, I think that just because you feel something deeply doesn't mean the relationship itself is healthy, balanced, or sustainable. And that is a really difficult lesson sometimes. Like, because when your emotions are that strong, like literally beating you down to the point where you're like, this this is the other half of your soul. You don't realize it because it feels like that sometimes. Especially if you're not emotionally regulated yourself, if you don't have tools to do that, and you're being hit with the love bomb of your own heart.
Right, right. And that's the cruelest love bombing there really is.
It's like, I am not prepared to deal with this.
Unfortunately, our brains rarely care about that. Mm.
But the thing is when you really start looking at a person for what they give you, what their words say, what their actions say, who they are in that moment, not who they can be, because who they can be is great, but you have no promises that that potential will ever be met. Hell, you don't know, they could go backwards in potential and regress while they're with you. You don't know that.
Very true. Mm.
And I also don't want to be anybody's karma anymore.
Right. I definitely feel that one.
And I think a lot of us have had that experience where we felt something really powerful with someone, but the relationship itself was never fully materialized in the way that we thought it would or hoped it would.
Yeah. I'm going through that right now. The worst part is I know what's going on, and I'm just like, cool. You're a distraction. That's cool. But at least I realize this. I'm under no false pretenses that I'm gonna fall in love or this is gonna be a magical thing, and neither is he. This is just a fun little distraction for me right now.
Well, and the thing is I think people think that because of how fast my feelings develop for somebody, it's not that I pick and choose. Like, I think people often think that it's not a sincere emotion, but like, if people understood how many ways I try to find to not care about somebody these days. If I fall in love with you, bro, trust and believe it's for real, and I don't like it.
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. That's me every time I realize I have feelings for somebody. I'm like, no. What did we talk about? We don't do this.
Bullshit. I said bullshit. I think my relationship in between B and K, S, was probably the hardest for me, life experience wise, because that was like almost immediate. Like, that was almost at first sight.
Yeah.
And like I told you, like, the connection was so intense. It was so raw and it was so powerful. And I'll probably never forget that experience. But by the same token, like, that was so intense on both sides and so powerful, and then it was nothing.
Yeah. Yeah. And those are always the hardest ones to get over, where it burns real hot, real fast, and then it's gone.
Yeah, that relationship hurt probably the most. And it wasn't even because of the length of the relationship or anything. It was like the level of soul connection that I felt in that relationship. I mean, who knows what he tells himself, but I know he felt it too. Like, you can't look somebody in the eyes like that and say and do the things that were done, and just not mean it. You can lie to people all day long, but you can't lie to them the way we were.
Yeah.
And that part hurts a lot, because like, you knew what you were getting yourself into and you still chose to hurt somebody.
Yeah. I definitely agree.
So that situation left a very strange emotional space, which definitely made it interesting, but it is also part of the catalyst why when B came into the picture, like at that point, I no longer have eyes for potential. I don't give a shit. Like I just can't even pretend to look at potential anymore because that has broken my heart more times than I care to count. And that's not going to be another one.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, like, I don't want to close myself off. I still want to have hope. I still want to connect with people. I still want to meet somebody that, like, absolutely makes me melt inside and out and, is the epitome of everything I've ever dreamed of. But I also know that that's not gonna come around by hanging on to people that don't have that capacity.
Yeah. And that's the healthiest thing, because the longer you hold on to those things, the more it tears you up in the end.
And that's not to say I don't date, because I definitely date. I date very casually until somebody earns trust, and then we go from there. I take it on a case-by-case basis. I don't act like, well, maybe this will work if I just hang on long enough. Eat shit. Eat shit. I'm not doing that. Part of me still wonders sometimes about certain connections too, like what if, because that's the way the human brain works.
Yeah.
But when that part comes up, I have to really like sit with myself and be like, okay, I understand that this hurts you. I do. I understand that this frustrates you. I understand that it's annoying. I understand that it's fucking lonely sometimes too. But all of those emotions are temporary emotions. And currently, I am happy. Regardless of whether I have a full-time partner or not, I'm dating, I'm enjoying life, I'm having a great time. So why do I need to try and put myself into a pigeonhole right now just because I'm wifey material? Like, I don't really know how to be a girlfriend. I don't really know how to date. I really just don't. Like, for me, dating means we're going out to eat, we're going out to coffee, we're going out to the movies, whatever. Maybe occasionally we sleep together, but like, that's today's version of dating. But like, for me, dating is like, we're planning a future together. Like, we've already determined we're compatible. Now we want to see how compatible we are long term. So we're going to start doing the things that husbands and wife do, except for not moving in together yet.
Yeah.
And people are like, that's not dating. And I'm like, well, for my era, that was fucking dating, bro. What do you mean? You weren't out here doing all the dumb shit. Otherwise, it was just a fuck buddy. You didn't date. You didn't. I'm single. That was your phrase to anybody that asked. I'm single. And if somebody was like, hey, Miss Single, you want to mingle? You mingled, but then you were still single.
Mm-hmm.
And people today are like, what? What? No. See, we did the horizontal mambo, so that means you belong to me. And I'm like, whoa. Nah. That's not how that works. There's a lot more that goes into being a partner to me. And let me tell you, I love the fact that nowadays guys are like, I am not paying for a date. And I'm like, cool, you're not dating me. Because guess what?
Yeah.
I come from the era where I don't give a fuck if you were getting laid or not. You paid for the date as the man, whether you asked or she asked. It didn't fucking matter. You were the man. As the masculine person, you held the doors, you paid for the date, and you made sure she got there safely and home safely.
Mm-hmm.
Period.
Exactly.
And if you started dating, that came with a certain level of responsibility, taking care of her and including sometimes financially. It didn't mean, oh, my girlfriend's struggling and I've got money, so I've got money and she doesn't. No, my girlfriend's struggling. I'm going to see how the fuck I can help her. Like back in the day, guys would try to impress you as a single mom by showing up to date you with a fucking pack of diapers. They'd be like, hey, and here's some money for the babysitter. Let's go.
Yeah.
Nowadays, guys are like, you don't have a car, you're not paying for half the day, you aren't paying for the sitter, and I'm not getting dick. I don't want to do this. And I'm like, oh, bro, please don't ever fucking meet me in person because I will be the one that's like, oh, oops, I slipped.
Yeah.
Angry
it is,
person.
It is definitely different.
Well, and honestly, I kind of feel like Nicki Minaj, man. I know the pussy's worth more than an Hermes purse. So what? That D needs to come with some perks, bro.
Yeah.
And it's not that I'm like out here going, hey, it's all the rage, even though it is, but that's beside the point. The point is that if you're supposedly dating somebody that you want a future with, it should not occur to you last to take care of her. That should be priority number one, unless you have kids and then her. That's the way that works. Because why? Because once you prioritize her, then she's going to prioritize you. And I promise you, being taken care of by a woman like me is a whole different ballgame. Also, I'm not gonna lean on you for all the financial needs like people think either. But if you see a sister struggling and you know that she needs some help, just fucking do it. Don't wait until she fucking has to come to you, because if I have to come to you, I'm not. I'm moving on.
Yeah. And that makes sense, honestly.
But while I was looking at all the different dynamics in my relationship, I realized that the relationship with my dad was very much like that too.
Yeah.
Like, you will do as you're told and you will submit, and the minute you didn't, I don't want anything to do with you. I don't want to be associated with you. And it's no wonder why I don't have a relationship, because I do not tolerate that anymore.
Yeah. For a lot of women, the relationship with their father determines a lot about the dynamics they're willing to deal with until they go into therapy.
Well, and I think if a lot of us get really analytical with our relationships and how we interact with people on a whole, if we look at all of our relationships across the board, I think we were really honest with ourselves, I think we would all see that we have very significant patterns in common with all of our relationships. Even if the relationships are completely different, I think if we look at them, there's probably some common threads running through all of them, because we are who we are and our patterns are our patterns.
Yeah. I definitely agree. I don't think most people realize their own patterns, though.
Well, and honestly, the most respectful thing you can do for yourself is to just end a connection that isn't taking you anywhere. And for them, for both of you.
Yeah.
And it really comes back to the looking in on yourself, what your patterns are, your relationship dynamics, how you connect to people. Like, knowing that I connect to people in a romantic way, in a sense that I need to feel owned, not just dominated, but owned, cared for, protected. That changed my mentality again for how I approach relationships, because now I know I'm not just looking for a dom sub relationship, and that explained why so many of them have not worked for me.
Yeah.
Also, knowing how my partner needs to be hunter as well, that tells me a lot too, because I am very primal in a lot of ways. And another reason why dom subs don't just work right for me, because I need a little bit more primal, a little bit more instinctual, this is mine, rather than good girl.
Yeah.
In fact, it actually makes more sense to me why good girl pisses me off when most people say it to me.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I definitely get that one. Fucking makes me irate.
Yes, but as property versus just a sub, like the only person that should ever be talking to me like that is my owner. So it
Yeah.
makes sense that it would chafe on me that anybody would just say that to me. It's like they're sandpapering somebody else's spot. And whoever my person is will probably not be so happy about it. So when I step back and look at these relationships together, BKS, my marriages, even the situation with my dad, like I said, what I really see are the patterns, not just the patterns in other people's behavior, but the patterns in relationship dynamics. Because every relationship is its own little ecosystem. Two personalities interacting, two histories interacting, two communication styles interacting. And sometimes those combinations create something healthy and balanced, and sometimes they create something chaotic or confusing or one-sided. One of the biggest lessons I've learned over time is that chemistry is not the same thing as compatibility. You can have incredible chemistry with someone, you can feel drawn to them, you can feel the emotional spark, that sense of connection, but if the dynamic between you is inconsistent, unbalanced, or lacking effort, the chemistry alone isn't enough to build something sustainable. And that's a hard lesson for a lot of people, myself included. Definitely myself included. Because when you feel strong emotional connection, part of you wants to believe that it means something deeper, especially if you're like me and Ashley and some of my other friends that have BPD, because our BPD immediately, once we feel something, is like, you are my motherfucking person. Don't try to convince me otherwise. You just need to get it in your head that you are, and you now are mine.
Yeah. And see, I'm considered fairly healed for a BPD person, and I still have my moments of they are fucking mine, and it's very hard for me. Sometimes I can undo like the talons and be like, okay, let's take a step back. But a lot of the times, because of the way my BPD works, the second my talons release, then I'm like, and
No, I know.
now I'm bored. Now I don't want you. Now you're a placeholder until I find what I want again. If I keep you around.
Yep.
And again, this isn't healthy. I know this. Like, but they consider me a fairly healthy person for PPD with that. Because they're like, oh, you don't go nuts? And I'm like, no, I go ice cold, which is just as bad. Yeah.
I honestly, I think that, I mean, I know we aren't the same, but I think that for me, that part comes out with me because of, again, the dynamics of needing an owner, not a dom, not a, I need all of those things, yes, but I need it within an owner because it's a different level of care. It's a more all-encompassing. You're not just my little girl or my sub or my girlfriend or you are mine. Every bit of you, mine.
Yeah.
And I take care of you. The rest of the world be damned. And I think that that's also probably why it will be so stabilizing for me when I find the right person, because I need that. Dude, yeah, I'm yours. 100%. Want to stamp it on me? If I was still into that level of pain, I'd probably be like, let's go get a brand.
No.
Once upon a time, I would have. Not these days. Fibro and me would be like, Dead from
Yeah.
shock. You want to believe that the connection itself will somehow solve the problems in the relationship. But relationships aren't built on feelings alone. They're built on behavior, consistency, communication, effort from both people. And when those pieces aren't there, the dynamic eventually reveals itself. Another thing I've learned is that different people activate different parts of us. Some people bring out our nurturing side, some people bring out our protective side, some people bring out our playful side, and unfortunately, some people bring out our tolerance for the things we probably shouldn't tolerate. And some people just bring out the fucking rage.
Yeah.
You gain awareness, and awareness gives you the ability to choose how you respond. Instead of just reacting emotionally in the moment, you start noticing the dynamic itself. You start asking questions like, is this relationship balanced? Is the effort mutual? Do I feel respected here? Does this connection bring something healthy into my life? Or does it keep pulling me back into the same frustrating cycles? Sometimes the answers to those questions leads to a difficult decision. Because recognizing a pattern often means realizing that the healthiest option is to step away, even if there are still feelings, even if there are still memories, even if part of you wishes things had turned out differently. Walking away from an unhealthy dynamic doesn't mean the connection never mattered. It just means you're choosing a healthier direction for your life. And honestly, I think that's one of the most important forms of self-respect we can practice. Recognizing when a relationship dynamic no longer aligns with who we are or who we're trying to become. So if there's one thing I hope people take away from this episode, it's this. Pay attention to the dynamics in your relationships, not just how someone makes you feel in the moment, but how the relationship actually functions over time. Because the way someone consistently shows up in your life will always tell you more than the promises they make or the feelings you share. And sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is simply recognize the pattern and choose a different path, even if that path means letting someone go. It's a really hard one.
It is. And it's something that takes time and practice and a lot of self-knowledge.
And it takes a lot of compassion and understanding from those around you. I'm not going to give names, but recently somebody that I know that's going through a situation that's involving having to let go of a person and that was a huge part of their life is struggling, and they are feeling judgment from those around them. And what I have to say to that is, in the most respectful and disrespectful way possible, who are you? Do you live their life? Do you feel their pain, their pleasure, their emotions? Do you know what they were thinking and feeling in that moment that was the reason for their choice? Because if you don't, it's none of your business. If you don't live their life, it's none of your business. And if you really love somebody, you're definitely not trying to judge their life. You should be literally going, I don't understand this, but I still love you. Period.
Yeah.
And I think that that's an important thing to remember in dynamics too. Just as much as letting go of people is the not judging what you don't understand. You can hold space for somebody and not understand their path. You can be non-judgmental and not agree with them. Like literally somebody can be doing something in your mind. You could be like, that is the weirdest or craziest or fuck thing I've ever heard of. But guess what? It's not your path. So that's where that thought should end, is in your motherfucking brain.
Yeah.
And the next thought that should be coming out is, I hope that whatever path you choose, it's the best one for you. Because
Definitely
otherwise
agree.
you don't really care about that person. You don't actually truly care about that person. You care about what they can do for you in your life in some way. Because care doesn't come with attachment strings. Like, I only care about you if you do it my way. That's not the way real love works.
I definitely agree.
Do you have any final thoughts to add before we close down?
No, I just want people to remember, like, it's so easy for us to think of dynamics in a romantic relationship inside of BDSM, inside of the things that Heather and I is our lifestyle, but dynamics takes in everything. It takes in your relationship with your parents, your friends, your teachers, your bosses. Like, it is all a different type of dynamic. And if you are noticing problems within your friendships, your family, or whatever, maybe try and figure out what the underlying link behind that is.
Yeah. Because really, guys, we all, when we do this podcast, we do this with the hopes that our mistakes, our fuck ups, our million nosedives into the concrete serve to help you not do that nosedive. Not because we're judging, not because you need to listen to a damn thing we have to say when it applies to your life. Because honestly, like I just said, I don't care. It's not my life. I don't live it. Do I hope that whatever your choices are result in the best path for you? Absolutely. But if it doesn't, I'm still here holding space for you. Non-judgmentally. Because it's your life. And it is your path. And it is your growth that you are on, not mine. So I want to wrap up this week with our usual rage responsibly, but I also just want to close with one last thought and say, love yourself first, regardless of anybody else's opinion.
Definitely agree. All right, y'all.
We're also available on Spotify. We said what we said, and we're just getting started. Thanks for listening. Now go rage responsibly. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. See you soon.